Hello, everyone. Welcome to my podcast. Today, I will talk about social variation in language based on chapter 19 of George Jules, The Study of Language. To explain this topic, I will connect it to a movie called Titanic. And this movie was directed by James Cameron. In this chapter, we learn that the way people speak can reflect social class, identity, and cultural background. Language is not the same for everyone, and different groups um, are an example of this in the way they use different social dialects, and these dialects show who belongs to a higher or lower social class. In Titanic, we can clearly see this difference. First class passengers speak very formal, polite, and elegant English. Their pronunciation is very careful and controlled. This style of speaking is also associated with high status and wealth. On the other hand, third class passengers like Jack, the main character, and his friends speak more casually. Their speech sounds faster, more relaxed, and sometimes includes slang or accents. And this is a working class dialect. This shows that language works as a social marker, meaning that the way we speak can show others what social group we belong to. Chapter 19 also explains the idea of prestige. What do I want to say? in the movie, the speech of the first class has overt prestige because society sees it as correct, educated, and refined. Meanwhile, Jack's way of speaking represents covert prestige, which means that even if society judges it, his speech shows friendship, honesty, and a sense of community. Another important concept from the chapter is style shifting, which means changing the way we speak depending on the situation or the context. In the movie, Jack, the main character, does this in the famous dinner scene. When he is in first class, he speaks more formally to be accepted. But when he is with Rose in third class, he returns to his natural way of speaking. And this shows that we adapt our speech when we want to fit in. And this connects to a speech accommodation. For example, Jack uses convergence when he tries to make his speech sound similar to the upper class. Cal, on the other hand, uses divergence, speaking in an even more formal and arrogant way to show power and distance. We can see the difference between these two characters because they are different. Finally, the movie also shows that language is part of identity. Rose speaks differently when she's under the control of her mother and Cal, his boyfriend. her speech is formal and controlled, but when she is with Jack, her speech becomes relaxed and natural. And this reflects that she is trying to escape the identity society forced on her. In conclusion, Titanic clearly illustrates the main concepts in chapter 19: social variation in language, social dialects, prestige, style shifting, accommodation, and language as identity. The movie helps us to understand how language can connect people, but also separate them based on class and status. And as I mentioned before, this can this can be seen very clearly when we listen to the different um, people in their different status or social classes, when you or even in the different context. For example, when you are listening uh, the the president of your nation, when you are listening a person of the country, when you are talking when your family, they talk in different ways because of that. And this is a social marker. This is something that we can clearly see as an example, because when the president is talking in the TV, when you listen to him, he is expressing in a different way than the way we speak or talk to another person in our context. So that is something I wanted to mention, and this was something very interesting and something very real and something that we can see in our daily life. So thanks for your attention and have a great day.